television show invites you to speak live with Piscataway's Mayor Brian Waller and his guests on the first Monday of each month. To speak with the mayor, call 562-2305. Mayor Waller is ready to take your calls.
Good evening and welcome to Eye on Piscataway. This is Wednesday, November 6th, and we're on the air live. If you'd like to speak with me or my guests, please call us at any time during this hour-long program at 732-562-2305. My guests this evening include Alan McGinley, the branch manager and outreach librarian at the Westergaard Library, Erica Solomon, Piscataway's teen librarian, and former Middlesex County freeholder and township councilwoman, and now a member of the Board of Library Trustees, Camille Fernicola. Alan McGinley joined Piscataway Library in 2010. He earned his master's degree in library and information science from the University of Albany, and for 2 years worked at the New York Public Library in Manhattan. In Piscataway Library, Alan has worked to develop dynamic and engaging community-centered programs and services. He serves on a variety of the local, state, and national library-related committees and collaborative learning groups, and very recently, Alan got married. Congratulations, Alan, to you and your bride, and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Erica Solomon earned her MLIS degree from Rutgers University and began working at the teen librarian at Piscataway Public Library in January of 2011. Erica is part of the team of librarians responsible for the creation of Piscataway's Library Make It Yourself program. In addition, she is the vice president of New Jersey Library Association's Young Adult Section. And welcome to Eye on Piscataway, Erica. Camille Fernicola served as 12 years as a Middlesex County freeholder, and we know her best as an advocate for Piscataway Township, where she serves as a township councilwoman for 15 years. And she formerly worked in the private industry and state government and is presently retired, although not entirely. She's busy as a member of the Middlesex County Improvement Authority Board and very active member of the Piscataway Library Board of Trustees. And welcome to the show, my former
pleasure.
colleague
My pleasure.
and the one and only freeholder out of Piscataway, other than Kenny Armwood right now. What's new and exciting at Piscataway Library? I always see cars going into Kennedy Library. The lot's always filled over at Westergaard. Kids over there, a lot of the seniors, college students, and it's just a very high volume building where everybody seems to be happy. So what's new and going on there, Alan?
One of our newest projects is...
before we get into that,
sure.
Erica, don't be afraid to jump in with Alan there. So this is like a free-for-all. There's etiquette's out the door here. So okay, go ahead, Alan.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching.
One of our newest projects that we're really excited about is the Make It Yourself project, which is a makerspace at Piscataway Public Library where we feature a 3D printer, our electronics programming with Arduino, we have sewing machines, we have a lot of tools and resources.
So wait a minute, let me back up. So you actually have a sewing machine there, like a regular sewing machine, like a Singer sewing machine, but a new high-tech one that you can make things there?
Yes, we have 4 Singer sewing machines, actually.
Oh, boy. I got to let my wife know in case we have a problem. We know where we got to run to. But the fabric, go ahead, Erica.
We have 2 sewing workshops a month, and it's open to teens and adults. And we just invite everyone to come in. They can work on their own projects. We have people making clothes. We have handbags. I think it's much more popular than we ever would have imagined.
So they're not trying to make knockoff Coach bags, right? No. Okay, just want to verify that there. Yeah. So we don't get in trouble with the trademark there.
They could come in and fix their Coach bags.
Okay, all right. But anyway, so what was the thoughts that, and by the way, James Keebler is the director of the library, but what was the thought process when you set up something like that within the program? Did you just reach out and say, hey, listen, we need to do this? Or was there a lot of, how do I want to couch this, was there a lot of interest in doing, other than just coming in and checking out a book or going online?
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to do was provide access to tools and resources, and we wanted to support STEM curriculum in the schools and also support workforce development. So these programs are really about community education and giving people access to the tools and resources that help them achieve their goals.
Now, you just mentioned workforce development. For those folks out there in the viewership, that is in conjunction, when they say workforce development, that's a terminology used with the Department of Labor here in the state of New Jersey. And interestingly enough, when Jane Brady from the Middlesex County Workforce Development had an expo at the Radisson within the last 4 or 5 months, the Piscataway Library was in attendance there, trying to get people there if they needed resumes and things. You might want to talk a little bit about that.
We do a lot of work with helping people with job search. We have a dedicated terminal, computer terminal at both the Kennedy and the Westergaard branches where people can come in. They can use that computer to do job search, to work on their resume and cover letter. There's no time limit on that computer, so it's a place where they can really get a lot of work done. We also do something called an appointment with a librarian, where people can make an appointment with us, and we'll sit down with them and look at their resume, help them with the cover letter, and even sit down and help them with fill out an online job application if they need help with that.
Well, I think that has been one of the great spots of the Piscataway Library here, that evolving, with the way the economy has been the last couple of years here in the state of New Jersey, that with people, you have a lot of people that either were laid off and they've just been at a single sole job for like 20 or 25 years, and they don't know what it's like to go back on an interview or have put together a resume. So is there classes to teach how to put together a resume tailored towards, say, an individual specific field?
Yeah, we've been partnering with the Professional Services Group of New Brunswick. They meet weekly at both the Kennedy and the Westergaard branch. They meet Tuesday mornings at Kennedy at 10 a.m. and Wednesday mornings at Westergaard at 10 a.m. And they are a meetup where people can get together, and it's kind of like a support group for people who are looking for employment. But they also do individual sessions on how to create a LinkedIn profile, how to develop your resume and cover letter.
Well, that's good. And I want to remind the viewers, the number is 732-562-2305. My guests include the Library Board Trustee member Camille Fernicola, Alan McGinley for the Piscataway Library, and also Erica Solomon from the Piscataway Library. Freeholder, as a trustee of the board of the library and working in conjunction with the library director, James Keebler, what is the fiduciary role of the Library Board of Trustees?
Our director gives us a monthly finance report, and we also track the spending of the library and go through its needs. He makes recommendations, and mostly we approve. He's a very good director, James Keeper.
Now, there are a lot of times that the library, and you've talked to other Library Board of Trustees from around Middlesex County, because it is a tight, for those that don't know, there's been shared services going on with the libraries going back almost 20 plus years, so even though the governor's been having this catch-all phrase talking about shared services, the library facilities around the state have been doing the LMNX, right?
Yes.
You might want to explain a little bit what that's about.
There's a sharing agreement with the libraries of Middlesex County. And there's also something called iBistro, where it's online, and you can sign in and do a search on any books, DVDs, books on tape, any kind of resource that the library would have, and put a hold on it. Even if our Piscataway or Westergaard libraries at Kennedy or Westergaard don't have it, they can order it from another library and let you know when it comes in by email, or they'll call you on the phone, and then you go pick it up. It's fabulous.
Well, it's obviously it does save some time for people who might, there may be a book available up in Woodbridge, and aren't necessarily going to jump in the car and go up to Woodbridge, although they can do that if they want.
They send it to our library.
Yeah, that works.
And then,
go ahead, Alan.
And in addition to the website, there's also an app that people can download to their phone called LMX Press, Press. So you can actually do all of that on your phone also.
So it's
If
even
you have a fancy phone.
yeah.
Right?
So it's even better than Netflix.
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing. You mentioned how active I was, and then I retired, and it was like falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
But I would have gone totally out of my mind if it wasn't for our local library, our free public library. And I've just been so happy with the activities that I've been using through the library and the resources. And when I see children coming in with their parents and using the library, and during last year's Hurricane Sandy catastrophe, you couldn't get near the parking lot. Everybody brought their children to the library because they had power, and they had people were charging their phones and using the Wi-Fi. It was so wonderful to see that, and I hope more people will use the library because they're paying
not just for coming in charging up or using the Wi-Fi.
No, not just for that, but it comes out of your taxes, and why not use it and get the children involved? Because there's just too much technical stuff that they do that doesn't involve people. They're doing. Many of them have these iPads and iPhones, and they're just doing it alone. When you go to the library, you do interact with other people.
And that teaches social graces eventually too.
Yes.
Now, Erica, what kind of teen programming, children programming is there going on at the library currently?
Well, in conjunction with our Make It Yourself project, we've started Maker Wednesdays, which is 2 Wednesdays a month, one at Kennedy and one at Westergaard. It's a chance to highlight our makerspace. So in Westergaard, we do it in the teen room right after school. So we were able to expose the whole after-school crowd to the 3D printer, which was very exciting. We've also done...
Now, you might, for those not techies out there, maybe either Erica or you, Alan, explain what a 3D printer is. I mean, because you always got to assume somebody never heard of the terminology.
That's a good point.
You might want to go ahead and take a stab, and then I'll let Erica jump back in.
Sure. Yeah. The first time I heard about it, I really didn't understand what it was, but it's a printer that prints in plastic. And so what it does is it lays down layer upon layer of plastic, and when it's done, you actually have a three-dimensional object. It works a lot like a hot glue gun. So it uses PLA filament that goes in as a solid. It's heated up to a really high temperature. It comes out liquid, and then it cools immediately.
And it produces, well, naturally you could choose whatever you want to make, but it produces like little pieces on a game that's the machine
You can make
that
some
we
Lego
have.
pieces there, right?
Something like that, right? And you could use it on your Monopoly, if anybody plays Monopoly anymore.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age.
Now, Erica, speaking to that, how has that changed the thought processes of a lot of the kids that are coming in the library when they see some technology like that obviously don't have a lot of the school districts don't have that capability?
I think it makes them excited to come to the library again. They're getting to see brand new technology and getting firsthand experience with it. And I'm having kids come in. When I go to the schools, if I talk about the 3D printer, I then have those kids come in, the sole purpose of seeing that. So it's bringing a whole new group into the library, which is really exciting.
Now, do you see that, when you see 3D printers, a lot of that, the architects and engineers have been using that technology for a number of years, ceramic engineers and things like that, and the hard sciences. Do you think, Alan, that is a way of trying to get us, as a national audience to try to get funnel more kids into getting the thoughts in the engineering field or in the hard sciences field?
Definitely. We recently had two members from a company come in and actually print a prototype for a project that they were working on at the library. And so to have entrepreneurs coming in and having access to that, I mean, when you look at the teens that are coming into the library and getting exposed to this, I mean, we really look at these teens as, the next generation of entrepreneurs that are going to be able to have that next big idea and get that start, here at the library.
And we're very fortunate enough that there's that capability at the Piscataway library system, because, how many libraries around Middlesex County have that capability?
Well, we were the first library in New Jersey to launch a makerspace. Now there's actually a statewide grant that a lot of libraries are applying for to get funding to launch a project similar to ours.
Okay. Did you have something to say there, Freeholder?
Well, we had a kickoff day for the Make It Yourself, MIY. And it's not only the plastic and the 3D printer and the sewing machines. They were making computer boards, right? Mm-hmm. And they were showing how to print on T-shirts. Mm-hmm. And the children and the parents were there must have been about 300 people that came.
Yeah, it was
the conference room at the library, at Kennedy Library, was jammed. And the eyes on these children were just popping out of their heads. They were so excited. And the parents were very happy, too, because their children were being challenged and learning something new.
When you said that the computer boards were being made, you're not going to get us in trouble with Apple, right?
No, but they were showing you how to make the little boards.
Okay.
The technology.
Changing gears, I want to remind the viewers number 732-562-2305. My guests this evening include today on the show is former freeholder, former councilman in Piscataway, but now on the Library Board of Trustees here in Piscataway Township. Alan McGinley with the Piscataway Library, and Erica Solomon, also library. Now, we do have a clip that was taken that we're going to queue up, and then we're going to go over it, and then Alan and Erica and Camille, feel free to jump in when it gets queued up. So let's queue it up. So obviously this is in front of the main library at the JFK Library. And ironically, I saw some old pictures at the groundbreaking with our late Congressman Patton was there back in the early 60s. There, who I worked for at one time.
Yes, you did.
So, Alan, you might want to take it away, walk people through inside the library.
Yeah, this is the main area of our Kennedy branch. You can see some nice sitting areas there, and that's a nice shot of our graphic novel collection and the large print in the background. We have a number of different materials in different languages.
These are our teen books. We have a display of teen series as well as mysteries. DVDs, a large collection of DVDs.
Now, have most of the libraries changed over with the type of shelving now because like you're doing DVDs and CDs and things like that. Remember they used to have the old big VCR tapes and everything like that?
Yeah, the shelving has changed as our formats have changed.
And you notice there's not much on the top high shelves. Short people appreciate that very much, I'll tell you.
Speaking of short people, here's our children's room.
Newly redecorated, look how pretty. New furniture, new carpeting, very nice.
And we have computers in the children's room also where they can look up materials in the catalog, they can get on the internet, and they can also play educational games there. Lots of different materials. We also have audiobooks for children, which a lot of people don't know about, so they can actually listen to books on CDs. There's our Friends bookstore. The Friends have a big book sale going on this weekend, starting Thursday night with the preview sale and continuing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and wrapping up Monday. But we do also have a dedicated bookstore where people can buy materials all the time in the library.
So are you is the Friends trying to undercut Barnes & Noble?
They're doing a pretty good job. We get a lot of donations. The community is really supportive, and the Friends are able to sell a lot of those materials, and that funding goes back into the library. So it's a great way to give back to the library.
And the Friends are a tremendous resource for our library system.
Now, have the periodical, wait a minute, you might want to explain this little section here. I know it's obviously computers, but explain that a little bit, Alan.
We have a really large computer selection, so we have about 32 computers, public computers. People can come in, they get Piscataway residents with library cards, get 2 hours each day to use those computers. That's our self-checkout, so if you don't want to see the library, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but you can check yourself out there. That's our 3D printer, the MakerBot replicator, and you can see those little items on the table are some of the items we've actually designed and printed with the 3D printer. There's a couple iPhone cases, a Pac-Man Ghost cookie cutter.
And then that's the new signage out there in front of Kennedy, but we also have a signage in front of digital signage in front of Westergaard also. All right, so what with in this day and age, I mean, are people actually reading the periodicals anymore?
I'm glad you asked about that because we have a new service called Zinio, which is digital magazines that people can download to iPads, tablet devices, e-readers, and those are great because there's no wait for it, so it's all simultaneous. So you can log on and view the different magazines we have and actually download them to your device. It stays on your device forever, and there's no cost for that.
Now, how about like, you have a lot of people now during drive time that they listen to books on audio tape or
I do.
DVD. You do that, Camille? I mean, do you see that there's a market that people are actually coming in wanting to have those while they're driving in a car instead of buying it, they're coming into the library and...
Yes, we've definitely seen an increase in people looking for different audiobooks. We recently been expanding our collection, in fact, to meet that demand.
And in addition to the CD audiobooks, we also have electronic audiobooks that you could download right to a smartphone or something like an iPod or MP3 player. Well,
I have to laugh. The first experience of one of those things in the car, you put in the car, listen to books. I forget, we were going up to see some relatives up in Vermont. My wife decided to go to the library and bring one of those. I think we got up to the end of 287 up by Mawa. I couldn't take it anymore with the that came right out. It's just not used to. I'm used to reading something in front.
Well, you had your family in your car. When you were alone.
Well, there's always chaos with the kids in the car, but that's besides the point.
I enjoy it more because I like biographies mostly and historical novels. And there's nobody else for me to talk to.
Okay.
And believe me, sometimes these radio programs are not what I enjoy. So I go with the historical novels and biographies, and it's just so wonderful. It's so entertaining while I'm going back and forth and going about my business, especially on a long trip.
All right.
If you're alone.
If
you're alone.
Yeah. That's true. Alan, what other feels like say and I guess this question goes to Erica, when dealing with the teens, I mean, why don't you walk us through, like, if somebody's like 3 or 4 years old, a parent comes into the library, what can that parent expect?
Well, we have a very active children's department. We have monthly programs. A calendar comes out every month with all the programs. We have story times. As that child gets older, we have more programs for school-age children. We have specific programs for tweens, which are usually grades 4 to 6. And then, of course, we have the teen department. So we try and keep the kids engaged from the very young until they become adults.
Now, the teens, like, you did some renovations about a year and change ago over at Westergaard. You might want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a very active teen room at the Westergaard branch, especially between the hours of 3 and 5. There's anywhere between, I'd say, 20 and 40.
And all of them are doing their homework, correct?
Oh, of course. But between 3 and 5 o'clock, we usually have anywhere from 20 to 40 kids back there, and they can study, they can do their homework, but they also have computers. It's a place for them to socialize and meet with their friends. So we really see a lot of activity, and recently we've started actually doing programs in that space. So we have this captive audience.
Now, what type of programming are you doing actually in that room?
We've done some of our make-it-yourself programs in the room with the 3D printer. We've explored makey, which is circuits. You could make circuits and use Play-Doh to create instruments and... Yes.
We do some food programs that are also really popular.
Yes, we've done baking programs. We're lucky Westergaard has a kitchen. So we've done where kids could actually come in and bake cookies. We've done brownies. We've made smoothies.
That would be one great smelling library.
And it's always supervised, which is a good thing. You don't leave them alone in the room.
All right, so just don't have my wife over there with the baking. She's not a good baker, but she's pretty relatively good because she's not a good... Oh, no. Just take it from my kids. It always comes out burnt, so...
Be good to you.
All right. So you go from the teenage to. Do you have programming for the high school students that are looking to go into college? What type of programming do you sponsor? SAT practice prep courses or anything like that?
We do offer SAT practice exams that are proctored by Kaplan. We also do some workshops. We did one recently on college admissions 101, just sort of what you could look at when you're choosing how you can choose the right college for you.
Now, when you say that, is that if obviously I'm a parent, but does your child just sign up? Is there a fee or what? How does that work? I mean, I know how it works, but for the general public who may not know, just go.
Yes, all our programs for the college, it's all free. The free SAT exams, the free workshops. We advertise everything on our website, so the piscatawaylibrary.org. We have a teen page where we put all these types of programs, as well as our print calendars. That's where you can find out about upcoming programs.
Now, do you have a lot of participation with high school students that want to take those tests there? And who proctors is it the library staff that proctors, or is it the Kaplan group?
Kaplan comes into proctor.
Okay.
They are popular.
We also have a dedicated college print section that gets a lot of use. So our test preparation guides are some of our most popular materials that people come in to use for a variety of exams.
Okay, now with that thing, we do have another clip talking about Westergaard Library. So we're going to cue that up, and then we're going to speak over that. Let's go to the videotape. Go ahead, Alan.
So that's our nice digital sign out in front of Westergaard, where you can see...
Which, by the way, folks, it was only up about a month and a half, and a car ran right into it. Yeah. So that's why we had to put the block in around it. So
it's fully repaired, though, now, and you can see a promotion for a lot of our upcoming programs there. This is a nice shot of the inside, the main part of the public, the Westergaard public area. You'll see we have a number of computers, and we also have a number of computers back in our teen room. This is the children's collection. We have a lot of picture books and a lot of some building blocks and a lot of fun, engaging materials for the children.
This is our teen room where you can see the computers. We have 8 computers back there. This is very rare to see it empty after school. It is packed, as Alan was saying before. And we have tables that teens can congregate, hang out, displays of books, more computers.
This was shot in the morning, so it's not as busy, and adults are welcome to use this space when schools and kids are in school.
And it's so important for young people to have a place to go. There's so few places at this time. I know you have plans for the future, but it's a public building, and the library staff is sympathetic to their needs, so it's a great resource for them as well.
Now, do a lot of the kids do their homework obviously on the computers there? Because a lot of people don't realize is that there's a lot of families just not capable of having all the update to technology, because it could be quite expensive for some family who may be struggling and things like that. And that's where one good thing about the library here in the town is it sort of filled the breach where economically some families may have not been able to have those items, but where they can just walk into either Kennedy or Westergaard and accomplish the same means as if you had it at your own house.
Yeah, kids do utilize our computers a lot for their school projects. And the other thing that we can do is we can direct them to research databases that we have access to through the library that, obviously most individuals are not going to have access to those kind of digital collections.
No, go ahead, Karen.
Another way of saving money, and naturally you have to have cable now, right? And I used to have expanded cable with all the channels, but I was just getting sick of it. I wasn't using all of them. My son moved out, no more sports. I don't care about sports.
You don't care about sports.
But now I have the basic. And I can come to the library and get Game of Thrones, a whole season 1, and all of the exciting series that are shown on the cable premium channels, and only pay $1. They ask for $1 donation, and it's fabulous, and it keeps me occupied for a couple of days.
I didn't realize you had time to watch TV. I'm impressed.
I do.
Good time management.
Not too much during the day, though.
Not too much during. And we're going to hold that thought because we're going to go to our monthly announcements at this time. So I want to remind the viewership here that the Friends of the Library will hold their annual fall book sale at the JFK Library on Thursday, November 7th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, November 8th and 9th to 10:30 a.m. to 4:30, and then on Sunday, November 10th, and from 1 p.m. to 4:30, and from Monday, November 11th, which is Veterans Day, from 1 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The Piscataway Township and Piscataway High School will hold a food drive to benefit the Fish on Saturday, Fish Organization on November 9th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Piscataway Municipal Complex at 455 Hose Lane. Non-perishable items are needed, including canned vegetables, fruits, canned and dried beans, also peanut butter, pastas, rice, cereal, baby formula, and baby food. Also needed a shampoo, soap, toothpaste, deodorant, diapers, everything you could think of that you normally have at your own house. For the Fish Organization relies entirely on donations. The Piscataway Rotary Club will be celebrating its 45th anniversary on Saturday, November 9th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the La Cantina Restaurant on 966 Route 22 East in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Tickets are $75. For more information, call 732-699-1431. The Piscataway Township Meals on Wheels program that delivers one nutritional meal at noon, Monday through Friday, to those people who are physically and mentally and socially conditioned to preclude them from preparing adequate meals for themselves. The program is funded through a grant from the Middlesex County Department on Aging, and an individual must be 60 years of age or older. Suggested donation amount for this program is $275 per meal, but there is a sliding fee scale based on one income's eligibility. If you know someone who may benefit from this program, please call the Piscataway Senior Center at 732-562-1133. On November 11th is Veterans Day, a day to honor all those who have valiantly fought for the United States and for what we stand for. Our own veterans, the Cultural Arts Commission will present a Hometown Heroes photographic exhibit featuring Piscataway residents who are serving or have served in any branch of the military. The exhibit will hang in the Municipal Gallery in the Municipal Building from November 4th through November 30th. The gallery is open from Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:20 p.m. and from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. There will be a reception being planned for Friday, November 8th at 7:30 p.m. in the Municipal Building. Refreshments will be served and the public is invited. The annual autumn wine tasting for the benefit of the Mettler Bodine House Museum will be held on Sunday, November 17th at LA 87 Central Avenue in Metuchen from 3 to 5:30 p.m. There will be hot hors d'oeuvres, pasta, and a complement of wines, and New Brunswick Jazz Project will perform. The cost is $40 in advance until November 15th and $50 at the door. Send RSVP to mettlerbodine@gmail.com or call 732-463-8363. Piscataway Township has been chosen as one of the 4 locations for permanent prescription drop-off location for prescription medications. The public may dispose of unused and expired prescription medications safely and securely and anonymously 7 days a week at the Piscataway Police Department at 555 Sydney Road. The annual Comic Relief Night for the Domestic Violence Crisis Intervention Team will be held on Thursday, November 21st at the Piscataway Radisson Hotel. For more information, call 732-562-01110. And the Piscataway High School Drama Department will present Brighton Beach Memoirs on November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the Piscataway High School. Showtimes for each performance is at 7 p.m. The Mettler Bodine House Museum will hold its annual holiday tea on Sunday, December 8th from 3 to 5 p.m. Due to the ongoing construction at the Mettler House Museum on River Road, the tea will be held at the historic Van Winkle Wickle House at 1289 Easton Avenue in Somerset, New Jersey. Seating is limited. Reservations are necessary. The cost is $28 a person. For more information, reservations, call the museum at 732-463-8363. And a reminder, all township offices will be closed on November 11th for Veterans Day observance, and on Thursday the 28th for Thanksgiving, and Friday the 29th for the Thanksgiving holiday. This November program will be broadcast on Mondays on November at 8 p.m. and on Fridays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on Channel 15 and on FiOS channels 40 and 42. And please note that the December I Am Piscataway will be live at 7 o'clock on Monday, December 9th, instead of the first Monday in December. Santa will be making his annual visit to our program. We invite all children to call in on Monday the 9th. And Santa had called Ann Gordon in my office and asked for a 1-week extension because he's evidently behind on making the toys. So that's the deal there on that one with Santa. Also, as a reminder, on Veterans Day, for those vets there, Applebee's is having a complimentary meal for the veterans. It's a program that they're doing nationally. So if you want to go out with your spouse, you got to pay for your spouse, but the vet ride's free. So just feel free to stop by. We do have a local Applebee's here. And then another thing that we got going there, I want to remind the residents about the leaf bag collection. Department of Public Works has started going around picking up the leaf bags. You can go on our website, piscatawaynj.org, and actually we're doing an interactive map on the website showing the areas that were for the first round that where the Department of Public Works has collected the leaf bags already. Typically, we will circle the town about 4 to 5 times the entire house. But a little word of advice. I know last year was a little crazy with the hurricane damage and things like that. You must have everything out by December 31st, period. And we only collect a few days into the new year, whatever you mean, assuming that there's no snow on the ground. After that, you will have to bring it down to the recycling facility, and that'll be a charge, because right now it goes to the county landfill where it goes to mulching. So there's only a less than a 2-month. There's only a 2-month window that you must get the leaves all picked up, and please do not leave the bags out there over winter, because Mr. Walker from Property Maintenance will be visiting your home with that. So because we don't need that with the snow, with the plows and everything like that. So with that, we do have a couple other little very short clips that transpired in the month of October, and we're going to cue up. The first one was the annual senior citizen Halloween party at our own very senior citizen center here. And this was a packed party. There wasn't a seat to be had there, and I got to tell you, some of the get-ups that they were in, it was pretty impressive. There's a very lively group there at the senior center. So if you ever want to do some aerobics there and lose some calories there after eating, this is the place to go to. So, and obviously a nutritional meal, including hot dogs with mustard and relish there. So, and this was the catwalk, so to speak, where they had to vote on who had the best costume. So, fortunately, I was in a meeting. I didn't have to be the judge, because somebody's always going to get picked a winner and everybody else is not. So, but then we had some great outfits that were there at our senior center, and I want to thank the staff over at the Piscataway Senior Center for putting on some great programming from our local seniors in regards to it. And it's not just the Halloween events. It's just like the library. They're multitasking. They're having a lot of ongoing program for the residents. And as Alan and you, Erica, know, everything's always evolving, correct? I mean, everything's always evolving out there, and you have to roll with the punches, so to speak, and because times constantly are changing.
Right. I want to say something about our director, James Keebler, who's wonderful. He has brought in Alan and Erica and so many young people that are excited about what they do, and they're up on all the technology. Like I know someone who recently got an iPad, didn't know how to use it. Well, the library gave a a little program on how to use your iPad and iPhones. You sign up in advance, and then you show up when they tell you to come, and it is so informative. You'd never be able to find resources on your own for free. Considering what they give at our library system, it's
Freeholder, you just brought up an excellent point, and maybe Erica and Alan can speak about this, is that with technology moving so quickly and the applications, how do local libraries going to adapt to that? I mean, are you going to be ended up more or less teaching people how to use apps to better use the library? I mean, how is that in the 21st century? I mean, you know it yourself. You go to a store, you buy an iPhone, and within 6 months, that's out of date. You
ask your son how to use it. They know more than we do.
So, but I mean, how do you, being two professionals within the library system, how do you all figure that out for the moving forward?
It's definitely tough. We spend a lot of time trying to stay up on technology trends, and I definitely see potential for us doing more classes on how to use mobile devices, how to, we actually have a recommended apps section on our website where we highlight different apps that we...
You might want to give that website address out.
Yeah, our website is piscatawaylibrary.org. And it's a great place to find out about all the different programs that we do. It's a great place to find out different information about things happening at the library, including our recommended apps section. There's also a section on our makerspace, MIY. You'll find out about all the different programs that we do in the makerspace at Piscataway Library.
Now, we do have one very short last-minute video that we're going to queue up. It's only maybe 20 seconds long, but we just have to do a public acknowledgement, so let's cue it up there. This was recently at the Longhorns restaurant here in Piscataway, where they had, because of the damage, doing all the volunteering with our emergency services folks, volunteers, during Hurricane Sandy. They had an appreciation night where 10% of all the total bill from Longhorn was donated to all 6 fire companies and the local rescue squads, which was very nice. From what I understand, was well attended. I got there as the early bird special. I was there at, I think I even beat the manager there. Right there, I got there so early. I felt like I was down in Florida at a senior citizen restaurant there. I was there at like 4:45 and nobody was in there. So
they do good lunches too.
I wouldn't know. I don't get a chance to.
I know, but I went there for lunch at being retired.
Okay.
And they had quite a wonderful selection of food, which was delicious, and a good crowd, good lunch crowd.
Well, that's good as long as it pays the bills and keeps revenue coming into the town.
And as long as they pay their taxes, right?
Absolutely. I guess, Erica, with you dealing with a lot of the younger clientele, I mean, how have they taken to the library staff? And you know how kids can get sometimes. Are they all like, hey, this is great, we're learning something, or?
Definitely a work in progress. It's something that the staff really strives. We try to connect with the teens. We try to engage them in conversation to build a relationship. We think it's important for not only to get to know them, but we want them to get to know us. So we do have that strong, positive relationship. And we are seeing that happening more and more with the teens.
And we have some staff like Erica and like myself that actually work in the teen room. And so by working in the room where the teens are spending a lot of their time, it gives us a great opportunity to actually get to know a lot of the kids and find out what they're into and really connect with them on a personal level.
Now, what I know we have in the past we've had a lot of different newspapers from around the world. We have a very large Girardi clientele, and then and also an Eastern Asian clientele. How have you kept up on the changing demographics within the community to better service the community as a whole?
We do have a number of publications in different languages. So we have some different world newspapers. We also have books in Gujarati, Chinese, Spanish, and Hindi.
Now, you say that you have the newspapers now. Do a lot of them, did you have sites that they can go there if they want to just get on a computer and read from website or?
There are. I know some world newspapers that are popular to view online, and so our public computers do give people access to that kind of material.
So,
and large print books.
Large print books
for people who have in English and in other languages too. For senior citizens
who large print books.
have problems with small print.
Well, I'm pretty good so far. No need for glasses, but I'm saying in the future probably.
Well, I hope you live long enough to need a large print book.
Just what we need. Go ahead, Helen.
Some of the e-readers can be great too for people that need a larger print face, and a lot of the e-readers allow you to change the type size. And we do a program every Wednesday night at Westergaard called E-Reader Help from 7 to 9, where people can come in and we'll help them get started with their e-reader, download e-books.
And can you do that to an iPad or an iPhone or something?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Do you have a lot of adults playing that game Candy Crush? There.
Yes, we do.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking, I think my wife's addicted to that, and it's just like it's annoying sometimes. I'm trying to get to bed and she's up until like 1 o'clock in the morning playing Candy Crush. So
you better find it something better to do.
But anyway, how can I guess the question I want to ask Alan and both to you, Erica, how and this goes, well, James is not here tonight, but your peers around the state, and I know we talked about how you're trying to move along with the technology, is under a lot of the libraries are under financial stress around the state. And what are your colleagues saying around the state?
It's tough economic times right now for people, and so we're definitely in a position where we're trying to do more with fewer resources. And so our ability to connect with those colleagues and really learn from each other is really important in a time like this.
And the Friends of the Library organizations, Piscataway has a very active group, and other libraries have it too. That's where they come in. They put forth extra effort to raise money, and it really helps the public library system buy things that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to afford with regular tax dollars, which are dwindling. But I know.
Well, like in our community, we're giving, I think it was like $350,000 over whatever the statutory level.
You've always been very good.
And if it wasn't for that, to be straight up, but probably Westergaard would not be open right now.
Right.
But what's happening is you have, speaking with a lot of mayors around the state, is that, one of the first things that unfortunately is looked to can is a lot of these public libraries.
And in my estimation, that's the last thing you should can.
And
that's what you call
I
it.
think Erica and Alan and James have proven the fact that because in hard economic times is that the library centers have become resources for people to try to improve their worth within in this business climate. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Definitely. I mean, we're there to get people back into jobs, to help get kids into college, and to get people going again.
And people have to understand it's a global economy. It's not just like when Camille and I first became elected officials, where we were just competing with Franklin and Edison nearby for what jobs we're going to be brought in. Now we're competing. Our town's competing globally. We're not. Things have moved so quickly than for what it was even 10 years ago. And that's why we constantly need to reinvent ourselves here and working it. Now, what type of collaboration is there done with the Rutgers library system?
We don't have direct collaboration with the Rutgers system, but we do offer services to students that live in Piscataway and to faculty that teach in Piscataway. So they are welcome to come into the library to get cards and get access to our resources. Yeah,
because they have a pretty good facility. Obviously, there with Alexander Library and some of the other smaller campus libraries that they have there. But, and then also are people who work within the community at some of the corporations allowed?
They are. People who work in Piscataway are able to get library cards. We cooperate with a number of libraries throughout the state. So if their hometown library already cooperates with us, they can use that card. And if not, they can come in and get a Piscataway card with proof that they work in Piscataway.
Okay. And it's no differently like when some of our renting out some of our parks as long as they work for one of the companies.
Right.
If a company wants to rent, we have a lot of companies now. Now that Riverside Parks has been renovated, that they like to do their team building seminars down at the parks because
nice.
of the Wi-Fi and everything else. Now, do you have a multi-purpose room up in Kennedy Library? Now, if somebody wanted to use that, what is the process to go about?
They have to make an application. I believe it's $25.
Yeah, there's
Rent.
information. Yeah, there's information on our website about renting our meeting room space. But the typical rate is $25 for 3 hours for nonprofit groups to rent space at the library.
Cheap.
Oh, tell me about it. Space is at a
I
premium
know.
for people that have mediums.
Can I just say, if anyone is homebound,
Okay.
The library, Piscataway Library, has a service where you call the library and they'll bring out resources to you and they'll pick them up and bring them back for anybody who's handicapped, homebound.
And
or
is
ill.
there a number that they can call? Is it the main number?
Yeah, they
or
can
is
call
there, is there
them-
an extension number that you might want
They can call the main number at the Kennedy branch. And that number
to? You
is,
give it the number and they'll flash it up on the screen here.
Okay.
that number is 732-463-1633.
And then is there an extension? Or?
They can select extension 6, which will take them to the information desk.
Okay. Now, that's a very interesting program. It's sort of like the Meals on Wheels, but it's with books.
It is. Well, we don't have our bookmobile anymore,
No.
so it's a wonderful thing for people who can't get out.
Now, what other initiatives are going on at the library, Alan?
Well, one thing I wanted to mention was our veterans program that we're doing the Saturday after Veterans Day. It's called Veterans Roundtable, and there'll be a variety of different veterans coming in to share their experiences with the public. So it's a great opportunity to really celebrate that day and really hear about the different experiences that people have had. We also have oral histories that we recorded on our website with veterans. So you can actually go to our website at piscatawaylibrary.org and you can download podcasts of veterans talking about their experiences with war.
Now, you did that sort of with the history of Piscataway, correct me, Alan?
We've done a couple different oral history projects. One of them was I Remember Piscataway, which you can access on our website. And then we also did this Veterans Oral History project.
And the library has remember all the Piscataway Review? Mm-hmm. It used to be the PD Review, Piscataway, Dunellen. And they took all of the old copies of the newspapers, which stopped printing in the 90s, I think.
Yes.
And they put them on, DVDs or...
Well,
it's not,
we
they
actually
don't
have
call it microfiche anymore, right?
No, they've actually been scanned, and we have them on our website. So you could go in and you could actually search Brian Waller and see what he's been up to in the newspaper.
That's scary.
Yeah, they handed. One night I went into a trustees meeting, and they handed me the first Piscataway Review story of when I first ran, and my picture was on the front page. Very young.
Wow. Otherwise, you never go old. Right?
No, not that way.
Now, we're going to hold that thought because I got to make a little quick announcement here. There will be an Affordable Care Act informational seminar held on Friday, November 15th at 9 a.m. and on Monday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. This is will be held at the Piscataway Senior Center. Township residents are invited to attend this informational seminar facilitated by Enroll America, a nationwide nonprofit organization whose mission is to maximize the number of uninsured Americans who enroll in health coverage and made available by the Affordable Care Act. The basics of the Affordable Care Act will be explained. Learn about the insurance marketplace and how to register. This is free and open to the general public. These informational seminars, as I said, will be held at the Senior Center. So feel free to sign up at the reception desk at the Senior Center. And a lot of people are looking at what's this all about. They want to hear. They see it in the news.
There's so much misinformation out there that this is fabulous for people who want to get it straight. And
well, that's the whole thing, is that part of it, there's been a lack of information getting out for people to understand. And this is one of the things that we had asked somebody to come in to Piscataway to do that, and that was critical the morning we get out. So, but all right, Alan, we got about another 2 or 3 minutes before we close out the show. Is there any other key points that you and Erica want to get across?
I think we've covered a lot tonight.
Well, what would James want to get out? Since he's here, you're here on his behalf here.
We are. James would be all about the book sale and encouraging people to go out to the book sale and help support the library. And he'd also be about thanking the Friends, because the Friends really have supported us so much. And a lot of the projects we've talked about tonight, the Friends have financially supported, and so those projects wouldn't have happened without their support.
And it's not just books. Libraries aren't just books anymore. In fact, the other
3D printers too.
The other resources have taken over the use of the books. So it's
I just
not just books
I don't know.
anymore.
I just as much as I don't mind looking at the computer screen and stuff
It's
like that,
nothing
your
like
eyes get
holding a
dry.
book.
It's like nothing.
That's
that,
true.
That
I agree.
field, so.
I agree.
But we're continuing to adjust our resources and to purchase ebooks and e-audiobooks and the digital magazines, and to really keep up with the way that people are starting to view that kind of content. So we have the content, we have the resources, we have the knowledge, and we're there to help people with that.
Now you had worked into the Alton, you have worked in the New York Public Library. What's the difference like going from a large library system versus coming to a suburban library system?
It's definitely different, but Piscataway is a lot like a more urban system in that it has those separate branches, and especially Westergaard is more typical of the kind of neighborhood branches that you would see in a place like Manhattan. So it's been a little bit of a change, but it's still providing frontline services to people and being there to help them. So it's been exciting.
Every time you always hear about library closings possibly in New York City or some other urban areas, and and I get that just because everybody's going through the financial struggles, with the 2% cap, and because the library system's in cap. And things like that, or anything over what the third of a mil is in cap, and that's going to be a struggle down the road, because I had argued against that the library be in cap, because one of the first things a lot of officials always think the easiest thing is just scale back on this in the library, But the point is that as you two demonstrated here tonight, as well as you, Freeholder, is that there's always a growing need for the use of the local libraries.
And it also sends a message to the young people. You don't eliminate something that will enhance your
Future
total
career.
well-being, your growth, your sense of knowledge, and excitement about the knowledge.
And for the betterment of not just you as a young adult growing up, but you may have your own family at some point in time.
And we do see whole families going in there. Not enough, though. I always want to see more people going and using the resource that their tax money is going to pay for. So if they don't use it, other people are getting the benefit.
Well, I got to tell you, Freeholder Camille Fernicol, Library Board Trustee, I'd like to thank you and Alan McGinley and Erica Solomon for coming on the show today and talking about the nice, innovative things that are going on in our two local libraries here in Piscataway. And on behalf of James Keebler, thank you very much for stopping by on Eye on Piscataway.
Thank you.
And I want to remind the viewership, we'll be here in the second week of December when the Santa Claus is going to be here. So we moved it up an hour earlier, folks, parents, so the kids who normally go to bed at 8 o'clock, there's no excuse this time, because Santa will be here at 7:15 taking live call-in shows. And believe me, Santa knows everything that's going on around here. So feel free to call in, and we'll see you back in December.